what's good? Today I'm gonna show you how I made this Yeat type beat inspired by his latest album LYFESTYLE. So yeah, let's just get right into it. Okay, so basically every time I'm making a rage type beat, I always rely on Serum because it has like the most synthetic sounds and stuff. Also, you can find really good banks out there. For example, for this beat, I mostly use the Rager Venus Serum bank and also the Synthetic Serum Collection Volume 3. So the first sound I used is this Molly preset, and I just made this melody. And it just repeats the second time. So the first effect I put on is this EQ, which make it sound like this. So then I put some chorus to make it more wide, and it also makes high end less harsh. So it sounds like this. Then I put some reverb on. And lastly, one more EQ, oh shit, just to tame down some frequencies and again remove some low end. So maybe you think now this sounds really muddy, but I used it as a base to put other synths and leads on top of it. So the next sound I used is this key preset, which sounds like this. So this basically just repeats 2 times. For the effects, I put some Fruity Parametric EQ to remove the low end. Then next I put some Fruity Distortion just to give more harmonics to the sound. Now it sounds like this. Then some reverb. And lastly, again, one more Fruity EQ. The next thing I used is this weird saw preset, which sounds like this. And it just again beats 2 times. For the effects, I put some Fruity EQ again to remove some low end and the harsh high end. Then I put a little bit of multibed compression. This plugin Kremet is basically emulating the OTT plugin. And here on the depth knob, you can control how hard you want the sound to be compressed. So it sounds like this. And lastly, I put another EQ, again removing the low end and putting some harsh frequencies out. And now altogether sounds like this. So the next sound I put is this weird sounding bass. And again, the same pattern repeating 2 times. For the effects, I just put some EQ, again removing the harsh frequencies, the harsh high end. Here I removed a lot of low end since we're gonna put some 808s on this later. Altogether it sounds like this. It sounds pretty good, but I just wanted to add one more lead to fill out the space. So I added another Serum, and I use this lead, which is very similar to the lead they use in Talk by Yeat. It sounds like this. And for the effects, I use some Fruity EQ because it had some unnecessary low end in the melody. And next I put some more chorus just to widen up the sound. And yeah, that's basically the whole melody, and everything together sounds like this. Okay, and then what it did on the melody, so I selected all the patterns, put it into a single melody bus. First I put some fruity limiter, but I used just the gain knob just to make everything a little bit louder. Next I used the free parametric EQ again just to tame all the harsh frequencies. When I use EQ on any buses, I always turn the linear mode on, otherwise you get some phasing issues. Lastly, I just put Soothe 2 on. You can see all the settings. I just use it again to remove any kind of frequencies that I don't like in the melody. Usually I just click on this delta button and listen to what Soothe will remove. Okay, so next up are these hard-hitting drums, which sound like this. I think literally all the drums I've used are from the Arcasenia drum kit by Tri-Freeze. So first we got this clap. Just the same pattern repeating all the time. Next up I use this another clap. I use it as like a counter snare. And yeah, basically I just added one more snare here and just play it a little bit with the velocity. Next up I use this hi-hat. For the effects, I just use this Effectrix and put this reverse effect at the end, and I just reduce the master mix to around 50%. Okay, so this is my favorite part. I ended up using this 808 as it sounds really good on its own. Next up, I use this kick, which is just clipped so hard. And the rest of the sounds are just some random open hats and rims just to use as like percussion, basically just to fill out the sound. So I use this interesting sounding snare and I just put some delay on it. Then at the beginning of the drum pattern I also use this open hat. Then I use this snare to make a rollout at the end of the drum pattern. I also use some rims in the middle of the pattern. And again, once more, just the whole drum pattern. And together with the melody, it sounds like this. Then finally on the master I put some fresh air. I just tweaked this a little bit that the whole beat gets more crunch. After that I use EQ again to boost and tame the frequencies I like or didn't like. Again I use the linear phase mode, and at the end of the chain we got the fruity soft clipper. And what I would usually do sometimes, take this EQ before the soft clipper and just boost everything, but since this beat already hit so hard I just decided not to touch it at all. Okay, and here's the final beat. If you have any questions regarding mixing or whatever, feel free to write a comment or message me on Instagram. I will leave the link in description. Again, thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.